So I think it's supposed to start now. I'm going to check.
It's 2 p.m. on my side.
Adam, are you here?
I am.
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to remove the main screen that says that we will begin shortly because I want to begin. Okay, I think that people can see us. Good evening, Adam Kramer. How are you?
Very, very well, Yigal. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm super happy to have you here. So first of all, before I introduce you, I want to check that we are live. So we're here in Amazon non-stop group. I think that people can see us. Let me check. It will take a minute. And we can just put this on hold and wait for everyone to join, because I know that we have a lot of viewers that planning to join us tonight. Okay, during this time, what we can do, we can share our screen. Okay, I see. I can see that people can see us. Okay, during this time, we can share this webinar in some other places and maybe help to more people to enjoy the super important content that we're going to have here tonight. And okay, so let's drop it in my personal profile and maybe in some other groups. So, okay, I finished with all the setup and all the settings, and I can see that people can see us, people giving some comments. Hanit said that we are looking great. Thank you, Hanit. Hi, Hanit. Hi, Uri. Hi, everyone. So I think it's a great time to introduce you, Adam. We know each other for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months. We never met in the real life. You know, we are into 2025. We have our relationship in virtual world mostly, but we have gotten really nice relationship, and we find each other super interesting. And you also have a bit connection to this country. By the way, where are you located now? Where are you right now?
So I am located in a suburb of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so very close to Miami.
Very close to Miami. Perfect. So I believe that many Israeli people know this place. Anyway, like I started saying before, you are a really special guest for us. You represent a super interesting company that still pretty new in the global stage. But you guys have been making a lot of buzz lately. So much buzz that even here in my own home, my wife started to use your services, which says that you know how to create quality products and and all the rest. So welcome to our Amazon Nonstop live show and to our small community here in Israel. Everyone, this is Adam Kramer. Thank you for cleaning your schedule and being with us today. Adam is a senior business development manager at ל-Temu, right? Correct?
That is very correct.
Okay, and today we are going to talk about the revolution that you are guy leading. You will let us know who are you and what have you done in the past 3 or 4 years since you appear in the industry. And the most important thing for our audience here, which is mainly, as you understood by the name of the group, Amazon sellers. How this touching the US market? Because, we use the Chinese marketplaces running on the site near the more established ones. So what's going on here? Can you give us some information? And of course, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sure. And again, thank you so much for having me, Yigal. I really appreciate it. And before I get into everything, I know we're still a couple weeks away from the High Holy Days, but I would just like to wish everybody out there, in a couple of weeks, I have very happy New Year to you and your family, and a very easy fast, 10 days after Rosh Hashanah, when that comes, because you may not see me, but again before that. So I wanted to just put that out there. And then also as well, thank you to everybody who's watching this evening, taking time out of your evening. It's still very much in the afternoon where I am, but taking time out of your evening to join us. As Yigal said, so I've been in e-commerce, dating myself here now, but I've been in e-commerce for roughly the last 10, 11 years of my career. And 4.5 of those years were actually over at Amazon. I used to live over in Seattle when I was working for Amazon over there, as an account manager and a business development rep, in the collectibles category, as well as soft lines. So if you're for apparel, watches, suitcases, sunglasses, shoes, things of that nature. After that, for a couple of years, I actually left Amazon and became the director of e-commerce for one of the accounts that I was actually managing when I was over at Amazon. And then a couple of years into that, Walmart came calling, and I spent 4 years over there as we were ramping up what's called WFS, Walmart Fulfillment Services, which was Walmart's answer to Prime, essentially, for Amazon. I was there for 4 years before joining Temu this past April. So I've now been at Temu, God, I can't believe how time flies, for about a little over 5 months now. That's my background, and I am a senior business development rep for Temu. And in very simple terms, what that means is I am using my connections from the past, but also meeting people like Yigal, and then you find people who I'm speaking with today to kind of pass along what Temu is doing and how we're evolving, what we're becoming, because Temu, especially here in the United States, is much, much different now than when the company started 2.5, almost 3 years ago. That is the very drawn out introduction of myself. And
no, it's perfect. It's super important. First of all, it seems like you know how to pick your workplaces, for sure.
I try.
Yeah, and they know how to pick you, of course. And of course, I believe that you're familiar with the experience of Amazon sellers.
Very much so.
I believe that you understand that many of them are looking for some, I don't want to say alternatives, because it's not something that have to replace your current business, but it's for sure something that without a lot of effort can bring you and can increase your revenue and create a new source of traffic for your brand or for your business, correct?
Very much so. I am definitely not here today to tell you to, no longer sell on Amazon or Walmart or eBay or wherever you might be selling. That is 100% not my objective of this conversation. It is more to let you know about Temu, introduce you to what we're doing here in the U.S. market, so we can serve as yet another revenue stream for you and your company.
Amazing. So what you prefer? You prefer to share your screen to show us some presentation with some information about Temu, like what happened with you during the last years in the States, and what opportunity is waiting for us as sellers, and maybe you can tell us about some case studies about sellers that succeed or not after they joined. So you want to share your screen?
Absolutely, I'll do my best here.
Okay, so
I believe I am already sharing my screen over.
You're sharing it now, I believe. 1 second. We will see it in minute. Yeah, I think that everybody can see that. Yeah, we can see your
Excellent.
presentation, Temu introduction. Of
All right,
course,
excellent.
before we continue, I forgot to remind everyone that you can ask questions in our chat during the webinar, and I will forward the questions to Adam. If it's related to the current subject, you can ask it now, or if it's not, we will make like about 10 or 15 minutes before we end with Q&A. So it's a good time to start. The webinar will be recorded, and you can see it, of course, during the next time on our YouTube channel, and of course here in Amazon Nonstop Group. And we're ready to start.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Yigal. Okay, so just to give you a very quick introduction as far as Temu goes and our timeline. So Temu started in the United States in September of 2022. That is when it first became available in the App Store and on desktop. And just a few months later after that, it had already gained a lot of popularity as one of the most highly ranked marketplaces on the Apple App Store, and people just kind of finding it out by word of mouth. However, where we truly exploded in the United States from a popularity standpoint was in February of 2023, which during the Super Bowl, which, as I'm sure many of you know, that's the championship game for American football over here, and it is watched by pretty much the entire country. We literally call it Super Bowl Sunday. It's an unofficial holiday here in the United States, even though I wish they would give us the next day off, but they don't. So during that time frame, Temu invested what is now extremely expensive commercial time for about 4 or 5 commercials during that game, and from February of 23 to May of 2023, so that very short time span, we got above 100 million unique users in just the United States alone. So just absolutely explosive growth in the US.
Amazing.
Yeah, it really was incredible. And during that time frame, people were, they were going on Temu and they were seeing like, okay, they obviously saw it as much different from Amazon and Walmart and the other more popular marketplaces out there, because the products were the site itself and the app itself was almost had a lot of like was almost gamified in a way, because that was the way of bringing people back, because we had a lot of great advertisements like, hey, come here, choose 3 items for a penny each. If when you spend $50 or whatever the amount of money it was, you'll get these 3 items for a penny each, etc., or spin the wheel. Anybody who's been on the app have seen these types of things. So that was one way of catching people's attention and bringing back. And of course, the price points were fantastic. Now the delivery time was definitely longer than Prime or WFS, but there's always a segment of people out there who were they don't need their items right away, right? So they were willing to wait a little bit longer to pay great prices. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's how Temu was really growing its reputation and its business. However, as time went along, the management leadership of Temu decided, that they wanted to come up with an idea where buyers who could go on Temu and change up the experience a little bit. It would be being able to get more brands, very like A+ name brands, household name brands that everybody knows, and get them on Temu and in a much quicker fashion. So they came up with what we call the local to local model. And it says March 2024 on there. That's when it officially within the company launched, but it really didn't start going until a few months later, at a much quicker pace on the website, probably more around middle to end of Q3 of last year. All right, so, and what the local to local model means in layman's terms is that instead of relying mostly on cross-border sellers, we put a larger emphasis on businesses that are located within the United States, but even more so, the products themselves are housed within the United States. And this allowed the Temu buyer to get items much more in line time frame wise with your Amazons and Walmarts of the world, getting items in 2 business days, 3 business days, etc. And still at great prices. So that's when the local model debuted. I could tell you this, that in April 2024, you can see here that we were in 70 markets across the across the world already. And the United States was by far the largest market out of all of them. Temu as a company did over $70 billion in GMV or sales within 2024. And the United States market accounted for over half of that. So around $35 to $40 billion. Amazing. And if you want to break it down even further, the local model accounted for 20% of our total GMV in like I said, in what was an extremely short period of time and a very small amount of sellers. So by that time, Temu had not hired as many BD reps like myself yet to come out yet to source the sellers. So the amount of sellers who are now doing this on Temu is much larger than it was then, and they had already accounted for 20% of sales in the United States at that point. I would expect when the numbers for 2025 come out, it's going to be much greater than that. And then, of course, in 2025, it's more along the lines of go bigger, go stronger, better customer service, make things more streamlined, have more, make additions to our version of Seller Center or Seller Central, whichever you prefer to call it, to make it more user-friendly and an experience that people are used to seeing already with places like Amazon and Walmart, etc. So from there, as I mentioned, back in April 2024, we were in 70 markets. Today, we're in over 90 markets. So even more so, across the Americas, North and South, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. So Temu has grown by leaps and bounds all over the entire world. You'd be hard-pressed to find any country around the world that pretty much has an internet connection that you're not finding Temu in nowadays. All right, and so Temu's strategy as far as it goes for the buyers and the sellers, obviously we want to offer products that are high quality and still very, very affordable. Like I said, we're integrating not only with the white label sellers from cross-border overseas, but now with the sellers in the United States, who over 1 million manufacturers, and those white labels now go hand in hand with those name brands. Just to give you an idea, I myself, like I said, I started in April. I myself brought on the first seller onto Temu who was selling Michael Kors brand handbags, who was selling Coach brand handbags, Kate Spade brand handbags. I've also brought on sellers that are selling refurbished Apple products, so iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, etc. And you can find Sony products like PlayStations, televisions, Samsung products. And the list is growing and growing. Like I said, you can, all these A+ well-known household name products are now able to be found on Temu. Nike is another example of another big one as well.
How does it work in Temu? Like there is one listing for each SKU, and everybody join to this listing, like in Amazon, or you can like create multiple listing for the same item.
That's a great question. So on Temu, one of the telling the feedback that we got from sellers, we actually do not have shared listings. We do not have buy boxes. So everybody who lists a product gets their own product page. That means they can make their own titles, they can put their own bullet points, they can use their own photography, video if they have it. But the rat race, as we would call it, to get to that lowest price point just to win the buy box is not something that we do over at Temu. So yes, you might have products, you might have product pages for very similar items or even the same item, but people present their items in different ways, and we allow the buyers to make the decision on who they want to buy from. Because the sellers that we've brought in, some people, there's savvy buyers out there now who, they realize, even on the other sites, hey, I'm not just buying this product from Amazon, from Walmart. I'm buying it from a third-party seller that I know and they trust after they've done enough business with them. Now they're like, now I've seen examples where people are like, hey, I know that buyer. I bought something from him over on another marketplace. They're on Temu now. So I can
the seller,
buy from there.
that you're talking about seller.
Correct. Yes. Sellers. Okay. And sorry, just to make a distinction, the brands I mentioned, it's resellers with those products. It's not like it's Nike themselves is not selling on Temu. Michael Kors themselves is not selling on Temu. We have resellers who sell these products. That's a distinction I just want to make, so for legal purposes, so nobody gets in trouble. And of course, from a standpoint.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. Everyone, any seller can sell any brand, or we need to get some permissions, and we're familiar with Amazon system. So. Correct.
A great question. I was actually going to get into that in a bit, but I'm more than happy to answer it early as well. So yes, in order to sell the brand, like the brands I just spoke about, or any brand that you are not the manufacturer of, you have to provide one of two things. You have to provide either an LOA, a letter of authorization, saying that you are allowed to sell that brand, or if you can provide legitimate invoices from the manufacturer or from a distributor showing that you've purchased this item and it's going to the address we have on file with you and to the name of the business on file we have with you, you can then get whitelisted to sell that brand.
Okay, perfect. I have some question on my WhatsApp from one of our viewers. I believe that you're going to touch this subject. I'm talking about the pricing. You want me to ask you now, or we'll talk about it later?
I'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay. So I'll put this question on hold.
Yeah, it definitely is different. I promise you, I will cover that.
Yeah, I know. They already did their homework, so many of them know how it works, but they still have some questions.
Absolutely, 100%, not a problem at all. So just to finish up this slide real quick, so in very consumer oriented, we want to try and be a one-stop shop, not only for the buyers, for our sellers as well. We want you to be able to come to us for customer service issues, for post-sale issues, for any financial issues, etc. And also know that we're providing reliable and trustworthy logistics, as well.
Okay.
So another thing that I wanted to hit on as far as Temu goes, that's a little bit different, well, different and the same, is that Temu provides our sellers with a ton of different ways to promote their products, because as of right now, so as of September 9th at 2:23 p.m. on the eastern coast of the U.S., we do not have a pay-per-click advertising format on Temu yet.
Okay.
Not to say that couldn't come in the future, but as of right now, we do not have that.
Okay.
So people might be asking, how do I promote my items?
Exactly.
So we have a few different ways to do that. One, we have our version of lightning deals. So anybody who's sold on Amazon before knows lightning deals. It's, the items are on sale for a certain period of time. Usually ours are longer than the 4 or 6 hour, ones that you'll find on Amazon. I think it can go for actually a few, anywhere from a day to a few days at a time, but we still call it lightning deals as well. But then we also have the promotions at a holiday level and a seasonal level that you can take part in. And, as you can see, theme promotions, Black Friday, back to school, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, obviously the entire peak season for the holidays, but we also do seasonal sales as well. So if you went to Temu right now, you'd see that there is a fall/autumn sale going on right now. Here in the United States, we just had Labor Day here, so that we had a Labor Day sale. I believe the next sale that will be, the next big sale for us that will be going on will be in October. That usually takes place around the same time as Prime, the secondary Prime Day in October for Amazon as well. So we'll have that, before we get into into the main holidays of Q4 as well. So tons of opportunity to promote your items and get more eyeballs on there as well. All right, and so the local to local model, as I mentioned, it's not just in the United States, and it's in other territories as well. But obviously the U.S. is what you guys are mainly focused on here. So you can see over on the right-hand side, you can see that there are, we're very, that's one thing about Temu. We try to be very transparent with our buyer base. So you can see on the right-hand side, I think all but one of them actually have that little green local warehouse badging on there, so that you can actually see, hey, this is part of that program. The buyer then knows these products are housed within the United States, so they can expect a much quicker delivery time as well. Okay. In addition to that, the supply, more quality branded products that are trusted, that we kind of hit on that earlier, having some of those big brand names. Increased product selection is another big one, because there are certain items, this also goes along with the category restrictions. There are certain items that FBA does not allow you to send in, WFS does not allow you to send in, because those companies have, their warehouses have to abide by certain rules and regulations. Since we are a 100% fulfilled by seller, and I'll get back on that in a second though, fulfilled by seller model, we have much less in the category and product restrictions that you can send in. The logistics part of it, actually, like I said, just following up on that, we are a 100% fulfilled by merchant website / marketplace, but that we also give our sellers freedom in that aspect, because you can fulfill your products in one of 3 different ways. You can either ship it out of your own warehouse here in the US. If your items are being held at a 3PL or a third-party logistics company, because there's a lot of them out there here in the US that do that, you can ship them from there as well. Or if your products happen to be at Amazon, for Prime, or Walmart for WFS, you can take advantage of their multi-channel fulfillment or more multi-channel solutions, and ship your products from there as well. So again,
super important point. Sorry to continue. Yeah, sorry.
No. So again, we say it's fulfilled by merchant, but it's fulfilled by merchant with an asterisk, really, because we allow several different options for you.
Okay, so if I have like thousands of my items in Amazon FBA, or they're on the way to Amazon, I can just create my listing on Temu and to try to create some sales. And if I will have some sales, I can use my Amazon warehouse and to ship it from Amazon or from Walmart, as you said before, directly to my client. And the Temu doesn't care if it will have like Amazon barcode or, I don't know, some small logo on the product.
So most for Amazon, as you guys well know, and Walmart, for their multi-channel solutions, multi-channel fulfillment, they offer the ability to have your boxes just be plain brown boxes. Correct. without any logos or anything, emblems, anything of that nature. So that's what we would prefer, and I believe they do that for the most part anyway. So yeah, did that answer the question, Yigal?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just want to understand if I need to make more effort in selling a new platform, or I just can run it in the same time in the same logistic way. So it's super important for me, because most of the people not looking for sending more inventory and looking for new adventures without the knowledge if it's going to bring some results or no.
Absolutely, I agree. Another very important piece of information I want to make you aware of is if you are sending your products out of, if you have a warehouse in the United States and that's where you're shipping your products from, Temu does give you the ability to use our last mile freight services. So the stickers that you can print them out straight from Temu when you have an order come in. We have extremely competitive freight rates. You know, we're sending out usually over 1 million packages a day across the country. You know, so our freight rates from USPS, FedEx are very good, or at least extremely competitive from what I've been told.
So we have a question from Ben Richardson. Can we use Amazon Carrier for those MCF Temu orders? I believe that it answers to his question.
Yeah. So if you're using multi-channel, you know, you're in control obviously of the carrier over there with Amazon or how fast it's being delivered. Big piece of information that I just thought of. Temu gives our sellers 7 business days from the time of purchase to get the item from the warehouse to the buyer. So 7 business days, which is essentially almost a week and a half, you know, roughly, 9 or 10 calendar days. So that should be absolutely plenty of time to get it, even if it's going coast to coast here in the United States. That should be plenty of time to get the product to the person. So yeah, even if you're sending it with multi-channel, some of the multi-channel programs I know offer, you know, it doesn't have to be like 2-day or 3-day. It can be 3 to 5 or, you know, something like that. So if you want to try and save a few dollars and use the 3 to 5 option that they give you, as long as it's there within 7 business days, you can do that.
Okay, so we have a nice question from Anat Kappa. She's one of the group leaders. And she's asking, when fulfilling orders through Amazon MCF, do I need to manually create each order in Seller Central, or does Temu provide some kind of integration?
So I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't know the answer to that 100%, but I'm very confident that if you're using, let me back up a second. We have several different applications that you can use on Temu as far as APIs and ERP systems to connect your
I think that you sent me some list of some softwares, and we had a conversation about that, and I told you that it's super easy to create automation tool. Like, you know, in 2025, you can automate everything. And Anat, if you don't have a solution, you can ask this guy that's sitting with you in the office. I believe that he can help you with that. Anyway, I'm just kidding, but you can. I will provide you later, guys, to all the group the list. Not all the list, but some tools that I checked and they work. So anywhere you have some recommendation?
Yeah, so I would say the most popular ones right now are Shopify and Shopify M2E. Those kind of go hand in hand with one another. So I would say that, and also Rithium, which is also another extremely popular one.
Which one? What was the other one?
It's called Rithium.
Radium?
Rithium.
Okay.
RITHIUM, I believe.
Okay, so I believe that me and Hanit will create a post with all the information summarized about this subject. But for sure, the answer is yes. There are some tools who automate all the process. We don't need to make each order manually. If you want, you can do it, but we don't.
Yeah, you can. So like. And we're adding more. I know right now Seller Cloud, which is another big one that is currently in beta with us right now. So it's not available for everybody yet, but it will be soon. I know I have, even myself, I have many sellers who are already signed up and working with us that are waiting for that one because that's a big one here in the US. But there's over 140 applications that we have that you can choose from.
And for those who will stay with us until the end, they will understand that after you will join and sign up, you will get full support from Temu, because we have a nice agreement that Adam and his team accepted for Amazon Nonstop. So don't worry, you will get help with everything.
Thank you. I'll try to I'll go through these slides a little bit quicker because I know we're already 35 minutes in. So again, for the local to local model here, the support policy. So dedicated resources. So this is very, very important. At the end of I believe at the end of the presentation, or maybe even before the end, Igal is going to provide a QR code, and maybe even the link that goes along with that QR code, as far as if you wanted to sign up for Temu. Using that QR code link is extremely important, and I'll tell you why. If you were to just go to Temu on your own and sign up to be a seller, the only real support you would get would be through our seller support email system, which everybody here who sells on Amazon knows going through seller support can be just an absolute black hole of canned responses. I get it. Trust me, I worked there for 4.5 years. I know the pain that goes in with that. So when you sign up using this particular link, you will be assigned to myself as your dedicated business development rep. But in addition to that, you're also going to get access to our account management team. One here in the United States and one over in China, depending on the category that you're selling into. So you'll have 2 account managers at a minimum, myself, and then also my boss. If it's an issue that needs to be taken care of, very, very important, even he'll get his hands dirty. He has no problem doing that. So you can sign up through that link, and then you'll get all that support, or you can sign up on your own and talk to the black hole, whichever you guys prefer.
Okay.
So
let's continue.
As far as on-site traffic support, you'll see over on the left-hand side, I was talking about these icons that you'll see. We talked about the local warehouse ones. If you're taking part in a sale, you can see there was one right there. That's negative 52%, negative 56%. Whenever you are taking part in a sale, those items will get badged as well. So that will, extra eyeballs on them. And then if you become the equivalent of a pro seller on Walmart, on eBay, etc. If you guys are familiar with those terms, we have our version of that called Star Seller, which is another badge that will be put on your products to let people know that you are a very trusted seller. You've got great reviews, and you've done a lot of business with us. So again, we are trying to be very, very transparent with our buyers on things like this. So the vision for partnership is very easy. Temu wants to help take your business to the next level and just, and supercharge it, honestly. We want to help, our goal is really to help you connect with our growing, and I say growing because it keeps growing, base of buyers, which I know I mentioned 150 million unique visitors earlier in the presentation. That's gone as high as 150 million unique visitors on a monthly basis. And then we're expecting through the holidays this time to just blow those numbers out of the water, fingers crossed, obviously, with expectations. And so we want to help.
By the way, if you're talking about the holidays, how quick the registration to Temu can take? Like, people can make it until the end of, I don't know, until November?
Yeah, so, by then, absolutely. So if somebody signed up tomorrow, let's just, as an example, signed up tomorrow using the link that you're going to provide, they'll have to provide all the pertinent information, which will include things like your business's name, your business's address here in the United States, the EIN number, which is just your business number with the IRS here in the United States. You will have to provide your passport, so the Israeli passport is fine. If you happen to have dual citizenship and you have a United States passport, that's even better.
It's always better.
Well, not better overall, just better for these business purposes. So if you have that, and then also very important, if you're going to use the Israeli passport, which is perfectly fine, as I mentioned, we do need to have somebody, though, as a point of contact within the United States as well. So we do have
can
to
be
have
anyone. He doesn't have to be like your partner or like it's not. It can be anyone, right?
It should be somebody who is in some way connected to the business.
Okay. Okay.
So
and what is the responsibility?
So they can be somebody like, if God forbid something happens at 4:00 in the afternoon in the U.S., which is in the middle of the night over in Israel, we would probably have contact that person rather than waking you up, something of that nature. But for right now, and over time, Temu's leadership might change those requirements, make it a little bit easier. But right now, that's the requirements. If you have a passport outside of the U.S., we do have at least some person of contact here in the U.S. as well.
Fair enough.
All right. Okay. This is going over a little bit of stuff we've already covered, honestly. I mentioned about those exclusive contacts, myself, my account management team, my boss will help you in, listing your product. The easiest way to go about it, or the most time-efficient way to go about it, is honestly, we'll tell you how to list your products, how to download the flat file, where, if you want to connect through an API, etc.
By the way, sorry to interrupt you, if we're talking about the flat file, we can download the flat file from Amazon and we just can upload it in Temu and we can create our listings?
So, no, the flat file does have to be downloaded from Temu. So you can get that after you sign up. The flat file, you'll tell the system what kind of products you're looking to sell. You'll download the flat file, and then if you have a flat file from Amazon that has that same information, because a lot of it is the same info, you can copy and paste.
Like it's easy to duplicate listings.
I'm sorry.
It's easy. Is it easy to duplicate listing from Amazon to Temu?
Yeah, I would say it's easy. It's just, is there legwork that needs to be put in? Yes. But yeah, unfortunately we do not yet have any kind of a matching system where you can just give us an ASIN and then it pops in all the pertinent information. We don't have that yet, unfortunately. Sorry, get my train of thought again. So yeah, you download the flat file. You can copy and paste whatever pertinent information you need into that flat file. There are no fees, by the way. I should have mentioned this earlier. There are no fees for having a seller account on Temu. So the $40, I think it's $40 actually, American dollars, USD. You would not have to pay that. There's zero membership fees. There's also the promotions that I mentioned earlier. I know a lot of those promotions you have to pay for on other marketplaces. We do not do that either. Temu, you do not have to pay to take part in promotions. So if you want to do a lightning deal, great. It'll tell you what the minimum requirement for the discount is, but we do not charge you to take part in that. Same for the big sales that the seasonal promotions, the holiday promotions, etc. Nothing. We do not charge you anything.
Amazing. So we don't have if we have our business running, we don't have to invest anything because we don't have PPC. We don't need to pay for the subscription, and we don't need to recreate our listings with new images and new content, right?
That is correct.
Okay, it's super important, and in the worst case, we will have like a little amount of sales. In the best case scenario, we probably will talk about it really soon, but we can increase our revenue by like a nice amount of money. You have a slide?
Selling the right products, absolutely. And now this is going to go back to the question you asked me previously about pricing. So this is the product life cycle. So we've already talked about the account registration portion, and then here we go. So new product proposal. So because Temu does not technically have what we would call a referral fee or a commission fee, we work on something called a base price model, which is different than what you're used to over at those other websites. So what we do is when you list a product, we ask you to provide us with what's called the base price. And what that base price should include is, one, it should include the cost of your product. So whatever it's costing you, your COGS as we call it, cost of goods sold. The profit margin that you would like to make, and then maybe even a couple dollars for for shipping if you want to throw that in also. From there, Temu then bumps that base price up to the retail price. So Temu sets the retail price to the customer. I'm going to give you a very easy example here. Say you normally sell something for $40, let's call it on Amazon, $39.99. All right. And so you would give us a base price of roughly, depending on the category you're working in, the base price that you should give us will probably be roughly about 15% less than that retail price. So if I'm doing my math correctly, that's $6. So let's say that base price is, let's call it $32, $33. I'm being close. So we will then mark that up probably to $38, $39 because Temu does like to be best of internet pricing where we can be to sell to the public. Temu will then, every time that unit is then sold on Temu, that SKU, you will receive whatever that base price that you gave us. So if you gave us that base price of $32, every time that SKU sells, you will get $32. Temu, the way Temu makes its money is the in between, like the price in between the base and the retail cost. So that's how we make our cash. So it's obviously, again, if you're selling apparel, shoes, stuff like that, probably around 15%-ish is probably a good baseline. If you're selling something like electronics, like Apple product or Samsung, maybe it'll be less than that. It'll probably be, I think electronics is more around 8% or something close to that. So it really does go by the category you're selling into.
Okay, and about this subject, sorry to interrupt you, Matti asked a really relevant question because you know Amazon, all of us, we know Amazon, and you told us before that Temu always prefer to be the best deal online. In other words, you're going to be cheaper than Amazon. And from your experience, how Amazon behave in this situation? Like, we have a history of people who told that they lost their buy box in their own listing after they decreased the price in their Shopify account or something.
Sure, that's a fantastic question. Thank you for asking it. So as I mentioned previously, I have brought over several other sellers that sell on Amazon. Like I said, as of right now, I have been told by those sellers that Amazon is not yet scraping Temu for this. One of those reasons is because, like I said, because we're not, we don't use ASINs as any kind of base of reference, so maybe it's difficult for them to find it. The title might be different. Depending on what you do. Sometimes the imagery can be different. Maybe the image that you're using on Temu is different than the imagery that you're using on Amazon, because Temu does not require a strict white background as your main photo on your item. You can use lifestyle pictures. You can actually even use video for your main image, but that has not been an issue yet.
It's not an issue. So from your experience, you have in your own circle sellers who sell for some period and in the same time in Amazon and Temu, and in both platforms they offer live and they get sales from each of them, right?
Correct.
Okay, it's super important.
Yeah, so far, at least so far we have not had that issue, and if it does come around, I'm sure Temu will recognize it, and we will put something in place to help our sellers with that. We're not going to hang you out to dry so that you lose your buy box everywhere else. But as of right now, that has not been an issue.
Okay, amazing.
Just going along.
We had one question before that I forgot to ask. It's not about that subject. It's about the registration. Orly asked if you accept a registered agent address in the States.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Like, when you open an LLC and you're a foreigner, you usually get your registered agent address. It's like some address in the States. Can you accept it? It's a real address. Usually
to my knowledge, the address that you give has to be the address where, well, let me think about this for a second.
Like, is there a different address for primary contact and for your entity, or it's supposed to be the same address?
So if you are, I can answer this question halfway, and the other half I may have to get back to you on.
It's okay.
So if you are a reseller of product, the address that you give us has to so actually let me back up a second, because you'll be sending us invoices to be able to sell the brands, just like I spoke about earlier. The address on your invoices has to be the same address that you have provided us with in your registration. So the name of the company and the address on those invoices has to be the same as your registration for us to whitelist those. And if you're the manufacturer, or if you're, say, 100% of your items are sitting over at Prime or FBA, that's what I'm going to have to get back to you on, because I honestly don't know that answer 100%. I don't want to tell you something that is incorrect.
It's completely okay. You're going to stay in our group, and we will have more events together, so it's completely okay.
And I'm sure Hanit will keep me very, very honest in her notes. She always does.
You can be sure. Yeah.
I can't see her face, but I'm sure she's laughing at that. So just to finish up this slide, so the pricing assessment, like I said, that'll be the base pricing assessment, and then as far as getting paid, so the way this is actually slightly incorrect. That says T plus 14 payment after delivery. It's actually T plus 7. What that means is, again, say you sold something and the base price was let's use that $32 again. All right, and obviously you would probably be selling more than that, but we'll just make the math easy here.
Okay.
So you sold the one item, $32 was your base. That's what you're getting from Temu is for selling that product. 7 days after the item has been delivered to the buyer, assuming there's no issues with the them wanting to return it or send it back or anything like that, that $32 will then go into your Temu account. Okay? All right. Then we do not have a system where you get paid out every 2 weeks, every week. You can actually request to be paid out as long as you have a positive balance in your account.
Which means every day? If
you really wanted to. I mean, it's going to take time, obviously, for the money to clear. But yes, if you technically had money, a positive account with us, you could do it as many times as you want.
But by the way, we didn't talk about the deposit method. What should I have? Like, it's supposed to be a local American bank account, or
the bank? You should have an American bank account.
But can I use Wise or Payoneer?
I believe Payoneer.
If I have my regular American account number with routing number, like. It's pretty much the same like American. Okay, but you can check it again. And
yeah, I want to say yes to the Payoneer thing again. I'm not 100% certain, so we can come back to that after I get the answer. But I that sounds extremely familiar to me.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, we're going to open for all the people who are going to register or going to be interested in registration. We're going to open a WhatsApp group, and you're going to be there. So we will make it as much quiet as we can, but for such important question, such a deposit method or some steps during the registration, I believe that we will be there for the sellers, right?
Correct. So I have made WhatsApp groups that usually include myself, the seller, my account managers, to help out. Some people want it, some people don't. If they do, I'm more than happy to create that for them.
Okay.
One more real quick mention about the payment method, or about the payouts. So you will receive, going back, so after 7 days, the money will go into your account. 90% of it will be available at that time. The other 10% is held for 30 days. So 90% after 7 days, the other 10% after 30 days, and the maximum that we hold is $10,000.
Okay.
So for reserve.
Okay.
Okay.
Amazing. And by the way, Jay Hannis, which is probably already sales in Temu, wrote that Payoneer works. Yes.
Okay, fantastic to know. Thank you very much for that. They knew what I know a lot, but unfortunately, I don't know everything. I'm still learning a little bit too with you guys.
Okay. So
okay. Almost at the end here, and then we can open it up to more questions and whatnot. So again, going along with, like I said, us trying to be as transparent as possible with our buyers. So this is a sample product page from Temu, not the whole thing, obviously, but what you can see is on that left-hand side, you can see several different pictures are able to be listed. The different colorways. I know obviously when you're dealing with stuff like sheets or apparel or shoes or jewelry, there's different size variations, colorways. So you'll be able to do all of that in one listing. And then in addition, you can also see that we let our buyers know how popular these products are. So you can see right here on the right-hand side, when I took this screenshot, 21,000 units of this particular bed sheet had been sold by that point. So we let people know that, hey, it's obviously a very high-selling product. It's got the local warehouse that I mentioned in earlier. Above that, you could see it was part of what we call a mega sale. And then you can't really see it, unfortunately, because it's very small. But in the green, it mentions that item is a top-rated product in that category. So if your item is like the 14th best-selling product in bedding, we're going to put that in there so people know. It's like the rating the system that Amazon has where it shows you where it ranks, inside a certain category. We have that as well. Not as robust, but if you have a top-selling product, we'll make sure people know about it. And then in addition, as you might imagine, we have a rating system for buyer feedback, 1 through 5 stars. They can leave commentary, they can leave images, they can leave video. And then obviously good sales and positive reviews will be taken into account as part of when people of your product showing up organically during search results. So things like pricing, things like how long your average that it normally takes to get people their product, the rating of the item, the rating of you as a seller. All these things kind of go in an algorithm as far as showing up in organic search results. In addition, when you first list items, we do give it what we call a cold start boost. So your items automatically go to the top of search results for the first 7 days that they are available on Temu as well.
Okay, great.
Okay. And then
you want okay, so this is the time for questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty much. So I mean, I can have my my email addresses here for anybody who would like to write or set up a one-on-one call or answer a question. Yigal, how are we going to go about you getting your QR code out to everybody?
Okay, do you have it here in your presentation? Because I'm not able to share my screen at this moment.
You know what?
It's completely okay because Hanit can share it on the comments and including the registration link.
Yeah, in the future, I apologize. In the future,
okay.
I'll put the image of it in there.
It's completely okay. Hanit, if you hear us, you can first of all to post the registration link and the people who will register to Temu with our link, they will get 1 second. I'm going to change the screen. Okay, we are here now. They're going to get a lot of benefits. First of all, support, our close WhatsApp group, and we will try to bring some solutions for automations, and we're talking about automations of creating and fulfill orders, and I'm talking about automations of creating and duplicate Amazon listings, like in really quick and easy way. Do automations, it's like our hobby, so we really enjoy to do that. And of course, sorry.
So I'm sorry. So real quick before we get into the Q&A, I know you asked me earlier about some case studies. So I'll mention a couple of them very, very quickly. So as I mentioned previously, you know, one of the sellers I brought on from my time at Walmart, actually, he was the first seller ever on Temu to offer handbags for Michael Kors, for Coach, and for Kate Spade. Honestly, like, I had a very good relationship with him, so he thought, he's like, hey, Adam's never led me astray. I'm gonna do him a solid favor. I'll sign up on Temu because he asked me to. Little did he know that not only did people start buying from him, but in amounts that he was not expecting. The summer, he told me very recently, the summer months are very much a slow period for him on his other wherever the other places he sells on. But for whatever reason, he put these items on Temu, and he's been with me now for a couple months, and I believe he's sold over 1,500 units.
Amazing.
In these handbags, which if anybody knows anything about these handbags, the average selling price on those items is usually over $100, sometimes more.
Do you have some interesting examples that tells about private label sellers? Because I believe that most of our community here on Facebook and in general here in Israel are private label sellers who are looking for like increase their business.
Sure. So the one that comes off the top of my head is it was actually one of the first sellers I was able to bring on as well. They sold over on Amazon and Walmart as well. A seller by the name of Kids Embrace, and what they do is they sell child car seats, and it's their own, like I said, their own brand. And the cool thing about their car seats is they have licenses with things like Marvel and DC and Star Wars and Disney and things like that. So they were able to bring those on, and they're selling those items now, licensed me, because there were some items like you could come on Temu before and back in the day and find items that may have not been licensed, but now we have these licensed products that the people know, and they're very high quality and great. So those guys are selling as well. I'm sure I have another. I'm just at the top of my head. I'll have that for next time. For the next time we do a webinar.
It's okay. You can just create a post with like some I don't know, case study of a seller of some information. But anyway, I don't think it's super important, because when you're starting to sell in Temu, again, I said it before, you don't need to invest any big effort, because you don't need to send the inventory to other warehouse. You don't need to pay for subscription. You don't need to create and fight in crazy PPC model with super huge sellers who invest thousands of dollars every day, and you just looking on them from the side and trying to get some traffic. Like in the worst case, you will get, I don't know, some few single sales. In the best case, you can get 20-30% more every year or every quarter. So what is the question? And with your support, it can be smooth and really, really easy. So
and I will say this about the white label sellers and the manufacturers. My PR team is constantly asking me about success stories for that. And if we have a seller who's a white label, or they're the manufacturer, it's their own private label, if they see a great deal of success on Temu, which obviously we hope they do, they would be eligible to be highlighted by Temu's PR team, and have their story put out there for people to read and see, and can obviously lead to more sales.
Okay, amazing. And okay, so we can go to questions now. We don't have many, sure, but this is the time to say to our viewers, so that this is the timing to ask any question that you want. But I saw a question from Matty. and she asks in Hebrew about how does Temu handle the issue of intellectual property rights? Because there was some issue with the brand owners, and many people sold fake products.
That is a fantastic question. Thank you for asking that. That is something I should have mentioned in my presentation, so I will remedy that the next time. So we do have a brand registry team that you will be able to sign up your brand, so that if you have people, see people using your photography, your intellectual property, anything like that, you can report it, and if we see that they are using it without your permission, we will be able to help take it down.
Okay.
So we take people's IP and branding very seriously.
Okay, it's super important. And I saw before that we had a question from, wait 1 second, my webinar was closed. Okay, I can't see past questions anymore, unfortunately, but I saw a general question from Tal about how we fulfill orders and some other stuff. So Tal, you can check, you can watch the webinar from the beginning again. All the information is there. Let me see if we have more questions.
Sure.
Okay, I don't think so. But the good news that if you will have new questions today, tonight, or tomorrow, Adam is here in the group. It doesn't mean that you need to send many messages every few minutes, but if we have some important questions, you can either post a question here in the group on our feed and tag you, or Adam, it's okay if they will send you a personal message?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you saw before Adam's email address, which is nice connection to have in Temu, and we will continue and we will keep posting more information. And I believe that as much people will start working with Temu more and more, we will make more webinars and more events. Anyway, in the meantime, I want to tell to everybody, I wasn't able to post in the comments the QR code. It's not super important because we were able to do it with the webinar, with the registration link. We will be very, very happy if you will use our registration link, and of course you will get all the benefits. Tomorrow, I believe that it's going to happen tomorrow. We will start a new a new WhatsApp group for support for people who started their registration or looking to start their first sales. And of course, we are here for any information or for any support that you need. Adam, anything that you want to say before we finish?
Yeah, so Yigal, what I can also do is because I believe you did send me the QR code as an image in WhatsApp. I'm more than happy to post that image in the Facebook group as well, in the comments section. And then also people can definitely reach me on Facebook, but Facebook is normally more personal. I use it for more personal purposes, but like you can still reach me there. But also, if anybody uses LinkedIn, that's obviously you can find me there as well.
Okay, so we have two last questions that I believe that we have touched these subjects. But first, the question from Yossi: can we sell in the wholesale method on Temu?
I'm sorry.
Can we sell wholesale? Like I believe that
wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale. Yeah.
So unfortunately not. Well, you could sell products at wholesale prices if you really wanted to, but I mean, Temu is it at its core, it's a retail website. So it's completely B2C. We do not have a B2B.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that we are not confused, because some people call to selling, I don't know, some branded items like you told us before, Michael Kors, JBL, or iPhones, as a wholesale method. So I want to make sure, because you can sell any brand that you want and it's allowed and it's completely okay. So I just want to make sure what Yossi meant. Yossi, you can write us. Tal is asking, the products in Temu can be branded, like private label branded, because the product seems like sold without any brand, like some kind of naked products. So, we talked about it, but you can shortly explain.
So every item that you list has to have a brand attached to it. So your brand does need to have a USPTO, or U.S. Patent and Trade Organization trademark attached to it.
So you're not able to sell generic products?
I need to, because that would be, because that would be extremely difficult, I would think, I don't know what the brand you would attach to it is then. So Hamid, please take that as a question that I need to go back to my team and ask about, because to my knowledge, at least everything that I've dealt with so far, even the private labels, those companies had PTO, either patent pending or patent already done with the Patent and Trade Organization.
But the bottom line, and I think that I understand what Tal asks. It's not another Chinese platform that the sellers are the manufacturers who sell like blank brand products straight from the factory. It's completely different. And I wanted to ask you, the platform, it looks different, like if I'm in the States or I'm in Europe or I'm in Asia, or it's the same from any place in the world?
It will look aesthetically the same, but if you're like if you're in Israel and you go on it, it's going to come up in Hebrew.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the offers, about the prices.
The prices will be in the local currency of the country you're in.
But it's the same worldwide?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So
to my knowledge, yes.
Okay. So when I sell in the States, I'm basically open my brand worldwide.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect information that I gave you then. I apologize.
It's okay.
So if you open it in the U.S., it is for U.S. only. If you want to sell your products in other countries, then you would have to register in the other marketplace of the other countries.
Okay, so
the word is escaping me, but yeah.
This is important, because I just want to know that when I sell my product in the States, I'm not going to be like surrounded with some this kind of naked product, cheap products, and because people want to feel that they sell their brand, and the people and the buyers will appreciate it, because it's not a part of some big sale of some low quality products, and this is like a part of a big platform who provide it to sellers who know, to buyers who know how to appreciate quality. So I believe this is why they ask this question.
No, that's a great question. So, of course, I want to be 100% honest with you. There are still sellers on Temu that are selling the lower priced, lower quality items, from Asia, over cross border. However, that's one of the reasons that, we've gone in the direction that we have. That now we have those still, but we also have the local items that people are seeing the badging on there. They know it's in the United States, etc. Let me put this analogy to you, and to the rest of the people listening. There's always going to be somebody out there who wants to buy it at the most rock bottom price they can find. There's always, even on Amazon or Walmart, there's always going to be somebody out there who, let me put it in the analogy for buying a car. There's always going to be somebody out there who wants to buy, a lower price, lower quality car. But there's also somebody going to be out there who wants to buy a BMW 3 Series.
Of course.
So that's why yes, you can buy something on Temu that's very cheap, maybe not the best quality, but then you can also buy a $1,500 Apple laptop. So it's the entire spectrum of prices and quality and
It's
items.
kind of like eBay used to be.
Yeah, in a sense, except you're not bidding on the items like back in the day. You wait till there's 10 seconds left to bid on the product. But yes, but it's a wide variety of products and quality.
Okay,
and
amazing.
prices.
Okay, guys, it's enough. Adam, thank you. It was amazing. It was refreshing. It was new. I believe that you will get a few messages and a few questions. And we remind you guys that we are staying here. We will help you with all the process. And I believe that we will make a new event about this subject again really, really soon after the local Israeli holidays that you familiar with. Really. Okay.
High holidays, and then we have Sukkot and everything else. So yeah, I know.
So Adam, happy Rosh Hashanah. Thank you for being here. It was super interesting, and hope that you will make a lot of new sellers happy, and
I've been in some form of sales, account management, or business development for my career, which is over 20 years. And what I've learned is, it's obviously it's business. Everybody wants to make money and such, but it's also about forging and making those relationships with people, because I'm a very big believer in people do business with those that they trust. And
of course.
That's what I try to bring to the table.
Of course. Okay, Adam, thank you very much. It was amazing. We will be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yigal. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And everyone else. Bye-bye.